Good afternoon. It's December 9th, 2025. You're listening to a Little of Column A, Little of Column B, hosted by Will Alimonos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How are you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? Disaster in the football world. They left Notre Dame out. I don't know what the playoff committee was thinking. They made a huge mistake, right, Will?
Is that what you want to focus on? I thought you were going to make an argument that Duke should be in.
That Duke should be in. My goodness. I don't get it. I hear the arguments. I've been hearing the arguments all week since before the conference tournaments, or excuse me, the conference championships. And I feel like I would normally be on the side of, well, if you play head to head, the team that wins, they're the ones that get in. So it is one of the fun things when you are on the inside looking out at the situations of everybody's got a little bit of a different argument. And if you're Alabama, you're saying, oh, we have 3 losses, but we had to play in a championship game. You guys couldn't even make the championship game. So why do you guys get a chance? But I think that the root of my argument going in is, if these were the rules, if these were the expectations that everyone was living by, why was Notre Dame ranked again ahead of Miami in the AP poll and the coaches, or not the coaches poll, and the playoff rankings since they started doing the rankings week 11? That's 5 weeks ago. Every time Notre Dame was ahead. And I'll remind you, Notre Dame Miami did not play this week. This wasn't a situation of, hey, last week something happened. Not even any of the teams that either of us played this year had a huge win or loss that could have also moved this around. I feel like if Miami had been ranked ahead and then going in, this is what had happened. It would have been, hey, you got to win the games. You can't lose. I know the 2 games combined 4 points, both the first two weeks of the year. Yep. But I really feel like the rug got pulled out from under us. This is, you're playing pickup, and at the very end they go, oh, actually we're playing the NBA line. We're not playing the high school line. So yeah, those ones before, those didn't count.
There's a lot of familiar things. There's a lot of familiar things within college football, right? We're used to conference championships. We're used to bowl games. We're not used to this playoff yet. This is all new. And if you ask me, there's a mix between the old system and this new playoff. And there's a reason it doesn't fit. There's a reason we didn't do this before. There's no history that says this is the way it should be and that these are the sort of conversations we need to be prepared for. We either need to get rid of conference championships, because I can't tell you if they're good or bad. It didn't help anybody. If anything, it made the argument for all these playoff things in jeopardy. And in some of the teams that didn't play in any of them are somehow in. So we got to pick one or the other. We can't just force this playoff into the window and keep everything else too. That's not how change works. We got to change something more than that and find a system that is actually fair. What I will say, though, everybody wanted to be just like March Madness. And one of the things with March Madness is the last 4 in and the last 4 out. We're talking all last 4 in, last 4 out, because I don't know if they got it right. And they're never going to get it right, and we're going to talk about it. So if you ask me, they succeeded in that. I don't know if they succeeded in a good tournament here, but this should be good playoff games and against some good teams. And maybe the team that's undeserving to be in there will actually do some noise and we'll see something out of them. I don't know until then, but I'll ask you, do you want to lean more into this playoff, or do you want to get rid of this playoff and go back to the way things were? Because we have to kind of go either or. This whole both is why we got such a controversy right now.
Oh, I don't think it's really a huge controversy. I'm going to take it more seriously because it's my team. And then especially with the news coming out pretty much immediately afterwards saying there's going to be the Notre Dame won't be participating in a bowl game. It hasn't been since COVID that there's just been the feeling of it's just over. This was a fun team. After those first 2 losses, didn't lose the rest of the year. I saw them in person and was just before I'm looking on FanDuel on Sunday, I remember Saturday night or Sunday morning going, hey, there's a 95% chance they're going to be in. And then worst case, that 5%, it's like, well, there's going to be one more game. They're going to play a bowl game. So just for it to be over, I think just hurts more. But this way, you got to win the games. If this was 5 years ago, after losing the first game would have been, after losing the second game, it would have been, oh, you got no chance. You have no chance the rest of the year. So having the chance just to be in the playoffs for the rest of the year, I think makes it more fun. And it doesn't matter whether there are 2 teams for this playoff, or it doesn't mean when we expand this out to 16. In 2 years, if this is 16, there's going to be somebody that's at 17 that's going to argue saying, hey, we only had 3 losses and 2 of our losses were good losses. And we have this one win was bigger than these guys' 2 smaller wins. It's always going to be the same amount. I mean, you made a great comparison to March Madness, where those teams that are 30 plus that don't get the automatic bids saying, oh no, I think we should be in. You know what? Great solution to this. You got to win the games. You win the games, then you don't need to worry about it.
I have another idea. You want another idea?
Okay, sure.
Well, college basketball, huge success, big tournament. Everybody likes it, right? It's one of the most entertaining things. Did you know that while that's going on, there's also another basketball tournament that's going on? It's called the NIT.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the NBA.
No. Why don't we have a college football NIT at this point? Who says no?
That's bowl games.
Okay, well, let's organize them because right now they're not. Why can't all that? Why can we get rid of all the bowl games and organize an NIT and an actual playoff? Then the playoff's just going to expand, like you said. We're not going to stop at 12. It's just going to get bigger.
It would be interesting if they. I think we're kind of on new ground with this new tournament, saying we're going to play multiple games. Where it wasn't that long ago, it was bowl games, and the bowl games were the championships. Those were the premier, and it was a one and done. So I can see your idea, but I'm wondering if just for football, this is too much of adding these more games on, or is it who cares about these guys? They're making money now. They know the risks, and let's make money. Let's just print it.
I don't have the sound effects, but cha-ching, like that's all I'm hearing right now. It's more money, more games, more opportunities to be played, more opportunities to see better teams play against each other. It's the other thing that's an advantage is similar to the March Madness is you see good teams play good teams. It's hard to see that. You don't see that every week. These matchups should be special matchups that you wait all year to see.
I think we love brackets, and I think that would put it a notch above above just bowl games. It's for sure going to be more games, but it would be interesting if you offset it. And so now when you don't have the main games playing, it's a Tuesday, and now you have Penn State, Clemson, supposed to be good this year, coming in, not so successful of a year. They're playing in the Pinstripe Bowl, but that is part of the larger tournament, the same way they've kind of shoehorned in some of the other some of the bigger bowls for the main tournament.
We'll do picks next week. I'll care enough about college football for that. Because we don't have the first round this week. It's not until next week anyways.
Correct. Yep.
The playoff isn't broken. It's just forced into like an already established system that doesn't want to change. Something's got to give here. They're either going to lean more into that or figure out how to organize the old thing a little bit better. NFL.
I don't think it's a fixable, because I don't agree that it's broken. This is just how it works. There are so many teams, and just how do we don't have a way to measure it perfectly. Of this team is for sure better currently right now. There's a bunch of math. You can go back. Everyone's got their different argument, but I think that's part of what makes sports fun in this situation is you can just argue. And you argue and argue and argue, and whatever team you have your niche, and you're saying, oh, well, Notre Dame's a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. But if you're Miami, you're going, well, we were a lot better than we were at the beginning of the year. It's somebody else. Everyone's got their own little argument. And if it was just so perfectly placed, I think that it would make it less exciting. And we're talking about it.
That's all they want. They want us talking about it. We'll make picks next week. For now, we're going to do some NFL picks. Was the app down on you? I really can't even see if I got anything right or wrong on ESPN. It's just this week. I can see past weeks, but I don't think I had a very good week. Maybe your app was working. How did you do this week?
So I don't think it was the app. It sure seems like it would have been some user error. I've heard that may have happened in the past. Was this intentional that you didn't make any picks, or was this some sort of a rage quit situation?
I can't tell you what went wrong. I really can't. I went in and made the picks. I obviously did the podcast. I don't know how they didn't save. For the first time ever, it didn't autosave. But yeah,
it makes no sense because it auto-saved. So when I saw it was 0, I was like, well, I'm going to give him a hard time about this, but there's no way. It's like there's not a save button. It's not, oh, well, you could have done it. It's like we've been doing this for multiple years, and this has never happened. So.
I don't even know how I would deselect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even, it doesn't make sense.
And my other argument would have been, trying to troubleshoot this would, oh, well, maybe the internet went out. And so that's why it didn't automatically save. But we're doing these picks while we were on the internet, on audio.
How could I load?
How would the internet not work?
How could I load the ESPN app without internet?
I don't know.
Well,
that's the only thing. That's like I think of it is it would load initially, and then once you made the picks, and it if you didn't have the internet, but we're doing an active podcast, so yeah, I don't know what happened. I think it's good that we weren't closer. Did you think you were going to make a comeback? You were on a little bit of a hot streak.
No, it's everyone asks me like how do you feel about doing your picks every week? It was like, well, both I want to do it, one for content, and the other is to like beat you. And it's like there's only two answers here, so to catch up, you got to take some chances here and there.
Yeah.
So it's also a little bit more exciting if you have a little bit more of a take on the thing you don't think that's going to happen, the less likely thing. So I'm pitching a little bit more to that. So it's not so much of a battle, but it is a little ruined now though. All right, I did sabotage a pretty consistent league going on here, and I can't tell you what went wrong. I really can't. I went back and checked it, and I was like, oh, that's weird. They didn't give me anything that I got right last week, because I have notes where I picked all the teams. I have the podcast recorded where I picked all the teams.
I was going to say, you out of anyone, like, you should be able to contact ESPN and say, hey, I made these picks. You don't believe me? Here's the recording. Here's the timestamp. Plenty of time before kickoffs. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Hopefully it sticks this week, even though we got the road podcast going.
I will double check again, but what's crazy is I checked on it Sunday too, and I was like, I thought I just didn't have service. Like, I just thought it didn't load. I was like, oh man, this is
Which
weird.
Makes sense. You've done this for years, and it's never been an issue. Like I said, there's no save button. It's just you click, and it automatically is saved every step of the way.
Yeah. All right. Thursday, Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm pretty sure it's over for Atlanta. I wasn't so sure, but I'm now starting to think, is it over for Tampa Bay? This is a landslide. We are tumbling. We are going downhill. I don't have any solutions or things to say, hey, so-and-so's Mike Evans is coming back. This just feels a little broken right now. Can they get it right? Are they lucky they're facing Atlanta?
It's not just that they're facing Atlanta. It's that they're in the NFC South. And even if they struggle, I think the NFC South is also going to struggle. This one here going against the Falcons, they're better than the Falcons. They're better than the Falcons, and all they need to do is win their division, and then they're the 4 seed. I think they're going to be a weak 4 seed. I think we've seen this before, for sure. Always possibility of an upset. We've seen that before, but it's only because that's where they are. Anywhere else, and they are in big trouble.
I'd say
maybe the AFC North, because that is just all over the place. We'll get to that later.
It's fair to say it would be a weak 4 seed, but I'd also say there's a bit of an X factor with Baker. Playoff Baker, somebody that can get some momentum, put up some points, an offense that has some receivers. It should be treated as more of a threat. But if that threat can't even handle New Orleans, who's not even trying to win games, and if they're going to lose to Atlanta this week, they don't even deserve to be a weak 4 seed. They deserve to be out.
It was bad. Shuck was all over the place. I don't know how they made him look so good. A team that only won 2 games before this. I'm really hoping that this was just, a letdown. You mentioned Mike Evans. He did come off of sort of came off of the IR, where he's allowed to practice. He was for sure not going to play last week, but from what I'm seeing, it seems like there's a possibility. I don't know how much of that is just posturing to make sure that teams have to, get ready for him. But if he comes back, I think that does move the needle a little bit.
I agree. It moves the needle. He's an incredible player. The problems they have, though, are unrelated to him. They don't know how to run the ball anymore. They can't stop anybody anymore. They go on dry spells of scoring. This team used to be consistently getting good drives. They're not that team anymore. They don't have very good drives.
I think Bucky Irving just came back. I think Ibuka, he's young. He had his moments, but to be the main guy as a rookie, I think you put him to number 2 in the spot where he's supposed to be. I think he's going to be more successful. Just like everybody gets to their natural spot, and then you're able to perform better.
These picks are a trap, because it's like picking Kansas City last week. It's like, I don't want it to happen. It's never happened before. There's no history of them blowing this. There shouldn't be history of Tampa Bay blowing this to Atlanta. It could happen, though. It happened to Kansas City. I'm not saying Tampa's anything to compare to it.
They just did it to the Saints.
I
don't think the Falcons are much. I think the Falcons are better than the Saints. Not by a ton, but I think the Falcons are a little bit better.
So we're reluctantly taking Tampa Bay?
Yes, because I don't trust the Falcons.
Yeah, me neither. Next game, Cleveland Browns at the Chicago Bears. They didn't even last 1 week with the crown. I mean, they just immediately lost to Green Bay. And it was a good game. Right? They competed. They had an opportunity to win the game. And then I think they'll win this game, because if they can avoid letting Cleveland's defense just destroy everything, they can win this game. I got the Bears. I don't really have a lot to say about Cleveland. They lost. The Bears lost to the Green Bay. Do you really feel like one team's significantly better than one another there?
It was pretty close. The Packers game was at home. I think that the Bears have been running pretty hot, and all of the Caleb dancing in the pocket and being able to avoid getting sacked. It's just you could do that for so long before it's going to bite you. And I think this was just bound to happen at some point. I think we'll probably see this, in other spots where these teams up at the top that we kind of know, we're not all the way sure. A little bit of scheduling is helping them out, and then there's just below that those might be more of the real teams. And now we're getting into December, and this is when it's really going to be the rubber meets the road, and we're going to find out who's actually good and who might be not all the way quite there. And I think the Bears are one of these teams that, technically had the 1 seed, but they're not quite all the way there.
Both got the Bears, and we got some confidence, a little bit of confidence in them. I don't have any confidence in the next matchup here. Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it's over. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the Bears. Maybe they're not ready to handle real playoff contention or real playoff competition. They got the wins. Baltimore doesn't have the wins. Cincinnati doesn't have the wins. Kansas City doesn't have the wins. They got, at least the Bears got them. So I'll give them that, because these next teams that we're talking about, they just don't have them. The Baltimore team doesn't have it. They lost to Pittsburgh. I feel like they blew their only chance to kind of get the season back on track. And it's the same problems. It's similar to Philly. They don't look good. I could pick apart everything, but it's the same things we talked about every other week. They just continue to happen. At some point, this team is this team, and they're just not that good. How bad are they, though? Are they bad enough to lose to Cincinnati? Yeah, I think so. I think I like the Cincinnati money line, plus 125. I think Cincinnati's going to win this game. What over the last couple of weeks is making you think that Baltimore is still Baltimore?
I don't think it's so much that Baltimore is still Baltimore. It's just, I don't know if the Bengals are this dangerous team. They have Burrow back, but he's still coming off of the injury. They still can't stop anybody. But I think I'm gonna go 1 more week. I'm gonna go at least 1 more week with the Ravens. The Ravens need to win. The Bengals are done. I don't know if it's technically mathematically eliminated, but I think they have to win out, and all sorts of fancy stuff is going to happen. The Ravens losing to the Steelers, dropping, but they're still similar to, we just talked about, the NFC South, the AFC North. All you have to do is just win that, and then you are the 4th seed. You get a home playoff game. So I still think that the Ravens have a shot to catch up to the Steelers, because I don't know what happened last week. That just seemed like a Tomlin special sort of thing.
I'm not scared of that Baltimore team. I'm not scared of the Cincinnati team either. It's just, I don't know. Burrow feels a little bit more fresh, to ask me. I didn't like what Lamar was doing out there. I feel more confidence in a good Burrow game than a good Lamar game. And I'm not saying Lamar's done.
Burrow jumped all over the Bills in the first half, and was really wondering, like, man, are the Bills really gonna blow this at home? In the snow. It's not like they were surprised compared to the Bengals.
I'm not crossing off Lamar. There's some theories out there that think that this is just the way it's going to be forever, and it's not going to be like that. Football's hard. There's a reason half the teams that made the playoffs last year don't make it again the next year. Even it gets crazy. These teams are so consistent that they have made it that many times. Eventually, these sort of years happen. There were years where Brady didn't make it. Even years we didn't even get injured. There was a year.
What? When?
Well, he got hurt the one year.
Well,
with Castle.
Sure. Okay.
We won 11 games. We still didn't make the playoffs.
I was going to say, okay, yes. Brady didn't make it the year that he destroyed his knee when, the second play of the season? I don't know if you could really hold that against him, that he wasn't able to get the playoffs that year.
I will say it's a bit of a different standard. When I say didn't make it, I mean, like, we didn't win every year. It was hard. Like, we didn't... As dominant and as good as Brady was,
you are correct.
We didn't win every game. We didn't win every year.
Every year. It wasn't every year. We didn't win every year in every game. That's fine. I will agree with that. But I think if you look a little closer on the, didn't always make it. Brady never played in games of no consequences. So we'll probably get to that later on.
Next game, Los Angeles Chargers coming off a big win last night. We'll be visiting Kansas City, who had a terrible loss. I asked you if you're scared of Houston, and you didn't really support it. But I'm starting to feel a little scared of Houston. They're a little frisky, and maybe this Charger team is too. It's hard to watch Philly and judge the opponent at all. I'm just obsessed over Philly. I can't take my eyes off them. There's so much dysfunction of bad vibes and not things working, things that just don't make sense. Saquon is just running into guys now. He's not even like trying to split blockers or anything. It's weird. Everything about Philly is weird. This whole game was weird. The overtime was weird. I don't know what to say about Philly, but I guess we're talking about the Chargers right now. What does it say about the Chargers? It's a big win for them. Are they legit?
I was surprised. I was surprised coming in, Eagles starting to slide, and I just figure, what are the Chargers great at? They're great at charging, and now they're in a prime position to win this game, and they went the other way around. Hurts was marching right down the field, got a 3rd and 16 after a holding call, after he had already ran for a crazy run. Just put your heads down, just all right, get it done again. They were starting to get to where, all right, we're going to take some shots at the end zone, and worst case is we're going to kick this field goal, and we're going to walk out of here with a tie. No problems. And they were only getting closer and closer, and then Hurts throws another interception, and so Chargers, credit to them, had that final stand, and just the Eagles just. It's no longer, hey, this is a little bit of a slide. They're truly sliding now. Now the anger. Now I'm wondering, maybe I should have believed the Eagles fans, where when you were a fan of the team, when you were upset, we were kind of thinking, you guys just settle down. Like you lost, 2 games. You guys are, you're in a great spot. You got a great team, but it's almost like they know, when we know our team's a little better of, no, you don't get it. It's not just this. It's not just because we lost. It's the way we're losing. It's the way that, the wins, they're not all the way real wins. So, yeah, if I was the Eagles, I'd be very concerned. Good for the Chargers. Yeah, the Chiefs. Chiefs, man. How are they below 500?
What are we going to say? We haven't already said.
How are they below 5? I mean, Mahomes throws 3 interceptions, but I think the interceptions are bad. But it was more at all of the crucial moments that forever the Chiefs just make happen, and these great teams just make it happen, were drops. And by multiple guys. It wasn't just one guy, wasn't just one play. It was multiple times, crucial 3rd downs, crucial 4th downs. I think that Andy Reid, when it was late and they went for it on 4, I think it was 4th and 4, but they were on something like their own 30. And it wasn't, hey, if we give the ball back, we're never going to get it. They got the ball back later. I thought their defense was good. I just thought that was just more, Andy Reid saying, we got Mahomes. This is just what we do. Like there's no way we're not gonna get the first down here, and they're not getting it. And these are drops. I think Mahomes is getting it to the right spots. It just his receivers just aren't coming down with it this time.
The denial is real. That's all it could be, because even Andy Reid is trying to force this as a historic thing. Like all of the past years, we did this play and we felt confident and we did it as a flex because we are the Kansas City Chiefs. And now he's like forcing it and being like, we're the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going for it on 4th down on our own 30. And it's like stupid team move. Like that's just a desperate move. I don't care who you have. It just isn't good football. I understand why you're doing it and what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to establish a threat that you have over the rest of the league for the past 10 years. That's just disappeared. The league's not scared of you anymore. Everyone's embracing all this. Go for it on 4th down. Just see what happens. Give it to Kelsey.
You know what's crazy though? The season's not over with yet. Still got some games to play, but they're on track right now to have a better points differential this year than they did last year when they went 15-2.
They're still that team. It's still Andy Reid. It's still Mahomes. You only got to win a couple games in the playoffs. It's not like it's all 16 again, 17.
But they're getting to the point that they need to make the playoffs. For the first time in, I think it's 9 years, they're not going to be the division. They're not going to win the division. And they're under 500. They have the same record as the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins are going to win this week. Are the Chargers going to win this week?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Wow.
I just feel silly, doing
Denial.
it.
Denial.
It's still Mahomes. They have to. They have to win.
They had to win
have
last
to win,
week.
And the Chargers just didn't Chargers.
They've had to win the last couple of weeks.
Week,
I know.
This week they really have to win. The other weeks, like they had to win. Now they really have to.
Well, they've really handled the
different.
less amount of pressure over the last couple of weeks. I'm sure the more pressure you're putting on this one week and the weeks after this will certainly be a relief to the team that's struggling. I'm going with the Chargers. I just think this is what we're doing.
You don't even like the Chargers.
I hate the Chargers. I think the Philly thing is weird. I don't even think the Chargers are good enough to even beat a bad Philly team, but they did it, and I think that's going to be a similar game where we're going to be waiting for all the Philly things to happen that never happened. We're going to be waiting for all the Kansas City things to happen. They're just not going to happen again. I'm going with the Chargers. ESPN's not going to let me put that in, but it's on record now. Right?
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah, we might have to get a whole pencil and paper out to do this game now.
I don't have a ton of confidence in the Chargers, but I do have a bet for the first half. So plus 146 for the Chargers to be up in the first half. I couldn't do the money line. I could pick up the win on the podcast, but I wouldn't bet on them. I would not trust the Chargers to bet on. Next game, Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. Pat's coming off a bye week. Bills coming off a fun game, big plays, big swings. This was a fun one. I want every football
in the
game.
snow?
Every football game needs to be like this.
Like legit snow. Every time a guy fell, he slid an extra 10 yards. It was a lot of fun. I agreed. It was the weather and just Burrow, Burrow, Allen, just having a day.
I love snow celebrations in the end zone. I could see you slide on it every time. It's always fun. Snowballs, everything's cool. All good stuff.
Always.
As entertaining as the game was, it was very much in jeopardy, though. You badmouthed Cincinnati earlier. The Bills, short of a miraculous couple of plays here, were in jeopardy of losing this game.
It took a Herculean performance by Allen. Down at halftime, and the way that the Bills' second half of the season has been going, I didn't think this was a for sure. Oh, Allen's got this. All the weather, that didn't even really bother me so much on either side. But I think if this was, say, week 3 or 4, I would have been more of the mindset of Allen's got this. Cincinnati can't stop anybody. They're down a little bit. No big deal. This was, all right, are the Bills going to be going in the same direction the Chiefs are going? And are they going to be at risk of making the playoffs?
I think they're in trouble this week. If they play the way they played last week, which is fun and as cool of a game as it was and as awesome as Allen was, I don't think he's going to be able to do that against the Patriots defense. And to counter, I think Drake and Burrow are going to be similar offensive swings where they're going to have to keep up. The Buffalo hasn't always put up a bunch of points every game. They did last week. I think they're going to have to this week if they want to beat the Patriots. We're on the road. Foxborough? I don't know. This is one of those where you really see the measuring stick on this Patriots team that's coming off a bye week, no injuries, real rested, a little bit more of a game plan focused around a team they already beat earlier. I'm sure there's a couple things we haven't already unveiled this year that maybe we could try against them after a bye week. I like the Pats. I don't think Cincinnati's that great of a team, and if Buffalo's going to go toe-to-toe with them, they're going to have their hands full with this Pats team off a bye.
I think this is going to be Vrabel's time to really shine. If you are one of these great coaches, you don't lose coming out of a bye week. For sure, Buffalo is a good team. Allen is, not to be trifled with. We're still getting compared, or not compared, but we're still saying, yeah, you guys are only good because of your schedule. Well, this is the Bills. This is where we could step up and say, all right, well, Bills are on a schedule and we beat them twice, so we got that in our back pocket. So yeah, I will also be going with the Patriots, and that will be my bet of the week. They are plus 100.
I wouldn't bet on us. I still really like Josh Allen's arm. That's a real threat. And if they're going to get wacky turnovers, like that turnover was incredible that they got, and then they score off it. They should, if they blew that last game, I would pick them to beat the Patriots this game. I feel like they got by the skin of their teeth. They're going to try to do it again this week, and it's not going to work against the Patriots. Next game, Washington Commanders.
I'm taking a look at the at the weather. We're looking at high of 30 and 35% chance of snow.
It's fine. I'm not worried. It's not like there's going to be a huge advantage. They did fine in the snow.
Oh yeah, I compared to almost any other team, it's Buffalo and us. We're ready. We've been practicing in the cold all year. That doesn't really move it. It's just more for watching. I want to see. It's like, ooh, might be a little more snow.
All right, we got a lot to talk about in this podcast, so we don't need to spend too much time on every single matchup here. But next one, Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Who you got?
Giants.
Me too. Next one, Las Vegas Raiders at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm already panicking for Philly, and it's kind of fun watching them unravel, but this would be a real unravel if they lost to the Raiders, who were kind of successful the last couple of weeks. A little bit more of a swing. They weren't locked victories. Philly has to win this, right? This is the one where, has anything actually gone wrong, or is it just they had a couple bad losses? Maybe the Chargers are legit. Maybe that's actually like an okay loss. And if Philly's just fine, and it's a lot of microscope on things that aren't even problems.
I think there's real problems, but what solves those problems is going against the Raiders, especially Geno Smith goes out. If you're playing Kenny Pickett, you got to destroy Kenny Pickett.
Next game, New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I keep trying to not make this a thing, but Jacksonville is very much a thing, and the Jets just aren't. I got Jacksonville. Who you got?
Yep, Jacksonville. The Jets this week. Just anytime whoever's playing them, they just look good. The Dolphins probably picking against them, but you're going against the Jets. Yep, and you watch them play, and you kind of trick yourself. Like, well, maybe they're not as bad as I was thinking. It's like, don't trick yourself. It's the Jets.
Next game, Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. I think the Texans are for real. This was also another team that I have tried to not make a thing and be like, no, I don't think it's real. But eventually the resume is the resume. And it's not even just what they did last week. It's kind of how they did it. And perhaps Kansas City is doing a little bit more to themselves, and I shouldn't give Houston as much credit. But, they got the wins at this point. There's a little bit of a resume there, and I think this will just add to it. They're going to beat up Arizona. Don't blow this one the second I start buying in. Who you got?
Defense is awesome, and Stroud is doing just enough. I mean, kind of just building on what Mills was doing earlier in the year of don't get too crazy, just be smart, let the defense handle this.
Next game, Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. I'd say this is the matchup of the week here. I'd just trying to get a scale of where these teams are at and how they compare. I'd say Chicago and Green Bay were a little bit closer. I might like Green Bay a little bit more in the playoffs, but is Bailout Bo going to get it done here? It feels like at home, this is a total Bailout Bo game. This is going to be tight, and he's just going to get away with it at the end. Who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with the Packers. I don't feel great about it. I feel like every time they make a step in the right direction, then they make a step in the wrong direction, especially with these better teams. It just seems Bailout Bo has been there, and even each week, like they're not like destroying teams. I mean, this one comes down, it's only technically 7 points with the Raiders getting a quick 3 at the end. But even there, even at the Raiders, just at some point, Bailout Bo is not going to be able to come there for the rescue, and they're going to lose one of these games. I think this is the week they lose it. So yeah, going with Green Bay.
This feels like the same denial I'm hearing right now. Like he's not going to do it again. He just can't keep doing it.
He can't do it again.
Can't keep doing it. All right, I got Green Bay too. I think it's going to happen, but I just want to be on your side when it goes wrong. Next game, Detroit Lions at the Los Angeles Rams. Fun one for Detroit. Let's put up some points. Rams also getting a win. Nothing much beating the Cardinals, but this should be a decent matchup here. Again, I'd like to see a measuring stick of where these teams are at. I think at multiple times this season we've thought the Rams were really good, and they still might be. And Detroit certainly had their issues, but they still might be if they're going to put up some points. What do you got any over-under on this one? You think we're going to see some points, or we're going to lock down a little bit?
I don't think the Rams are going to score 44. Or excuse me, 45 again this week. I think it'll be closer.
I got the Rams. It just seems a little bit more trusting.
I'm also going with the Rams. I think the Rams are really good, and they're getting primed at just the right time. You mentioned it's just the Cardinals, but the Cardinals with Brissett, I think, have been a different team than they were with Kyler Murray. Not a incredibly better team, but you go in and you put up 45 and you say this isn't even going to be close. Like that's what really good teams do.
Next game, Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. I got New Orleans. Who you got?
I'm going with the Panthers coming off a bye.
I just refuse to acknowledge this is a thing. They're obviously the superior team. I don't want it to be a thing, and they might not be good enough to beat New Orleans. Some teams aren't. Next game, Tennessee.
Well, Chuck might just go off the rails, or go crazy again.
You don't know. What are the Panthers actually good at? I just can't figure it out. Is there a defensive play, an offensive play? Is there something that they do very well that other teams worry about?
It's that they get to play in the NFC South. So, and Bryce Young has had some decent games.
I will give you that against the teams you just said. Next game.
Sure, and you got to do it against somebody to start.
Tennessee Titans at the San Francisco 49ers. I got the Niners. I'm sorry, Tennessee. You got to win, but you're not getting another one. Niners off a bye. No worries here. Who you got?
Niners off a bye. That's my lock of the week.
Indianapolis Colts at the Seattle Seahawks. Boy, this is a bummer. This is extra bummer.
Oh, no.
This is so bad.
Oh, no.
I feel bad for all of it. It couldn't be worse. We already talked about last week how there's this already eerie feeling of a team that's been sinking before and missed the playoffs. We got Phillip Rivers in the mix, dude. Like, how does that leak? Can we just keep that under wraps if we're trying to do Hail Marys? Let's just not let the public know. That was more discouraging than the Achilles injury, if you ask me, was that we're getting Phillip Rivers on the practice squad 24 hours after Daniel Jones tears his Achilles. I don't like that. I'm more worried about that. That's a panicking organization. How is 44 Phillip Rivers on the call sheet?
I don't get it. I saw it yesterday when the rumors were coming out, and it was on Facebook, and immediately was like, I got to send this to Will. But right behind it, there was not even a pause. But right behind it was, maybe you Google this real quick, because sometimes you jump a little too fast, you get tricked, happens to everybody. But this one was, come on. This says Yahoo. This seems very legit, Yahoo Sports, but let me do my due diligence. And sure enough, I look. I mean, it leaked because they brought him in, and then today it wasn't he's signed to the practice squad.
What did he do? What is he in shape? Like, what did he do to get this? They called him and just said yes. Like, did he send film? Is he working out?
So he played for Steichen before. He played for the Colts the last time he played, during the COVID year. So, a long time ago. Sure. Apparently, he's been coaching his high school team, his son's high school team, and he's been running the same offense that the Colts runs. And so, I'm sure you're nodding along. Okay, yeah. But that doesn't seem to overdo for me the fact that he's 44 years old. There was nobody in the mix. There's nobody that graduated college in the past 10 years, 15 years that is in better shape to run. I mean, it's just a practice squad. I mean, I can't name, a quarterback that's on the practice squad of any other team. It's just because it's Phillip Rivers. But I think part of it is Daniel Jones goes down, non-contact calf injury. Turns out it's Achilles. He's done for the year. Afterwards, Riley Leonard, he's out there. He has a knee injury. So now it really seems like, hey, you're not just signing this guy to the practice squad just to be on the practice squad. You might give him a little bit of a show, and then he might be your backup, if not your starter, this week. This is just baffling to me. This seems like Colts fan fiction or something.
He's not even a Colt. He's, you know what I mean? It's not even like he spent his entire career with the Colts and is doing him a solid. It's crazy to me.
Last time the Colts went to the playoffs, he was the quarterback. Anthony Richardson's still in IR. His eye, he still can't see.
Oh my God. How is there not one?
I really don't get it. Like, how is there not a guy that's been on the practice squad for somebody else that you bring in? How is there just not some guy that got drafted this year that got cut that is not closer to being helpful? It's crazy. It is going to be absolutely wild if he plays.
I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to happen. That being said, I can't imagine it being successful, especially against a hot Seattle team that's actually playing some really good football. Seattle's going to be at home. Crowd's going to be into it. I just feel bad for Indianapolis because I just wanted to see what they could do. I'd like to validate this Daniel Jones thing, but it's a little unfinished now. And depending how he comes back from the injury, is he going to swing more back into that Giants era or more into this past year? I think that's going to be up for debate, and that's really unfortunate because I wanted to make this like a sure thing that he's a guy that you want on your team. And I'll say that's disappearing, but this does not make that argument easy at all. That's such a bummer. Who you got in this one?
Had a great year. Had a great year, and yeah, we're not going to know. And even once he comes back, it's always going to be before the Achilles, best case kind of deal. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Just because I think the Seahawks are good, not because I think the Colts might start a 44-year-old. Does this give you any sort of not hope, but like that Tom Brady retired, but maybe he's not all the way retired?
Zach, they just got rid of MTV. I think they could have saved it all if they just made a show trying out for the quarterback, and it was just for situations like this. It was just a bunch of nobodies off that were already ready to get signed for this exact situation. Like, we need that. Why is Hard Knocks not generating that? Because that's what would actually help teams.
There has to. I don't know. Maybe there's something else. I'm going to be following this story pretty closely.
It just seems crazy. I've been in positions where it's bad hiring. There's nobody available, and you got to just take what you can get. But the fact that it seems like this was part of the plan, and that they're like happy to go along with it too. It's crazy stuff. Next game, Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas Cowboys. I don't really care who wins this one. I'm not going to watch this game. I guess I'll go with Dallas. Maybe they'll score some points. It's hard to trust this Minnesota team. They shut out the Commanders last week after being shut out the week before. They put up 31 points, which is something they haven't really done the last couple of weeks. Dallas does the same thing. They score 30, they lose to 30 to 44. Is Minnesota putting up 44?
I don't think so, but they're all over the place. I don't know how you get shut out and then the next week shut out a team. The quarterback play is all over the place. I'm just going to go with the Cowboys. I think they're a little more stable. Hopefully CeeDee Lamb is okay from his concussion.
We at least know Dallas is good at offense. I don't know what Minnesota's good at. That's enough for me to just say I'll take Dallas. Next game, Miami Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Monday night. The hot Miami Dolphins now are 6-7. Is that correct?
6-7, tied with the Chiefs and tied with the Ravens.
Can I have a
Just
little?
like we all thought.
Can I have a little bit of a victory lap for saying don't fire the coach? Because I don't have the applause button on me right now, but I do want to say that this team is 6-7 now, and they wanted to fire this coach on day one.
Sure, anytime you can get a coach that doesn't get you to the playoffs and doesn't get you a top lottery pick, you got to keep him.
Yeah, but we'd be so much better off if we just started all over. That's ridiculous. Pittsburgh's a perfect example of not starting over, and somehow they considered to Pittsburgh all these other teams. They did it to Baltimore last week. I don't know how. How did they score 27 points, Zach? How did this Pittsburgh offense put up 27 points against Baltimore?
Aaron Rodgers throwing it 5 yards at a time?
Inch by inch. Is he going to do it again this week?
He is going to do it this week. Miami did get a win in the cold. Yep. But that is not what they normally do. It is December. It is going to be really cold in Pittsburgh this weekend. And I think you're going to get it's a night game as well. I think you're going to get a bunch of Dolphins up there with a sub 500 record going, you know what? It'd be really cool if we could just not be playing in this weather.
Hey, man, they're showing up for their coach. They're going to show up again. I'm getting spicy. Let's go, Miami. Let's make it a win streak. Let's get over 500. Let's just do it. All right, let's sabotage some other teams that might not actually be that good. Pittsburgh could do voodoo to good teams, but they don't know what to do with a bad team. This is like a different. It doesn't work against it. It's like incompatible. I got Miami. It's a crazy one. What do you got for bets of the week?
Is the Patriots plus 100. How about you?
Let's do the Cincinnati money line. Let's go bold here. I don't want to bet on the Chargers. Cincinnati money line plus 125. All right, that's it for the NFL.
Lock it in.
Is there anything else you want to get to with college football? I thought we had a pretty decent open. I'd like to make some picks next week, but seeing how there are no games this week, there's no reason to pick this early. Maybe a coach is going to get fired.
No, that's good. Yeah, I mean, there is one game. You got the Army-Navy game, so a little bit of college football, but more pageantry than anything else.
Well, I'm very excited to get to the college basketball because it was a fun week. Maybe not the most successful week for Michigan State, but it didn't seem to affect the polls at all. And all in all, I'd say that's exactly what you want. You want your schedule to be balanced to the point where even a loss doesn't kill you that bad.
Was there a question?
No, just a statement. I was going to let you move on to something else. I thought you were going to just talk Duke, but it's okay. We can talk Iowa State instead. Who's the
had a phenomenal week. I had fun. We had such a good week that we're taking a week and a half off for finals. So we can get our degrees. Because that's important as well. But three ranked wins. We did it in all variety of fashions. One at a neutral site, one at home, and one on the road. But yeah, I had a bunch of fun. I knew there was no way you were going to try to ruin my birthday and have Michigan State win. But boy, did you make it exciting. The crowd was they were ready. They were ready for the game. That's for sure.
I love the way Michigan State plays. It's hard to be upset with this team. The effort's good. The defense is great. When they make shots, it's really the special team that I think can compete with the teams like Duke. I got nothing bad to say about them. It's just they play really hard, and I like the way they're coached. There's a lot of other good teams this week that got some good wins. Did you have a team you thought had a bigger win? I'd say you guys got the biggest wins this week, though.
Yeah, I think it'd be tough. Florida only by one. I mean, both of the games. It's close to like a coin flip as you can get. But I think if you're just going on the win part of it, I mean, you could definitely look at the size of some of the wins where I don't think they were as good at teams. But Gonzaga at a semi-road game, just beating Kentucky by 30 plus, just that kind of came out of nowhere. Did not expect Iowa State to just come into Mackey Arena and just really put it on Purdue. That game was not competitive at all. I think they won by 20-ish points. So those ones might have been considered bigger wins.
I thought Iowa State looked great, and I'm in. I think that's obviously some bias here, but Big Ten got a lot of good teams. Got a lot of good teams. How many good teams you got in the ACC? I think we got 2 at least.
Well, Iowa State is in the Big 12.
Oh, Big 12.
Don't be stealing. Don't be stealing those away.
I was Michigan. That was on my mind. I'm sorry. I want to talk Michigan.
That's fair. That's fair. It's easy to get those confused. It's one of those things when we're talking about new teams and what's the name, and that name is so dumb. And then for 2 of our major conferences, one is called the Big 10, one is called the Big 12, and they're completely different. I would say the ACC has three good teams, and then I'll say 5. They have 5 good teams, and then after that, we'll see.
5? All right.
Yeah, I'm putting it in order: Duke, Louisville, Virginia, North Carolina, Clemson right now.
All right. Those aren't even the teams I would have picked, but that's okay.
Who would you have picked in the ACC?
One more time, go with me. You had Duke, Louisville.
Virginia, North Carolina, Clemson.
He did have Virginia in there. I thought you missed Virginia. I like quiet Virginia fan here. I like a little bit more what they're doing too. I think they're a little bit more on the brink. Very out on North Carolina though. Very out. I don't like what they got going on there.
One at Rupp. That's a tough place to play.
It is. It's not a tough team to play right now. Sorry. I'm supposed to deny this? What is the evidence of this team being tough to play at this point?
I had no strong response to that. They haven't beat any competitive teams yet. They play a cupcake tonight, but yeah, anytime that they've played somebody legit and more than once have absolutely got run off the floor. I think the real concern was the Gonzaga game on Friday night, where it was the game of the night for people to watch. So a lot of eyeballs on it. And I mean, it kind of looked like the Kentucky team just gave up, and that's not good, for a newer coach. I mean, it's not good for anybody, but just the way the season's been going, it's not, oh, there's a blip, a little weird, maybe, you start the rumor, there's flu going around. Just, man, you lose by 30 plus points after losing to UNC at home. And it was in Tennessee, and UK travels well. It's a heck of a lot closer than Gonzaga.
I'd say the SEC's in somewhat trouble here. I mean, nobody within them, I think, has got any of the big wins. We kind of got Vandy on top right now, which is more of just like a foreign college in the SEC. Of like, well, I don't know what this looks like before. There's not history of putting these guys here. Like, you got to be scared of them, and they're certainly like in jeopardy of losing to them. But to have them as like the top dog in the SEC, that's very new. That feels like a softer SEC just on saying that, and I don't even know if that's fair. But that's kind of how
you had pointed out that the stat that Week 6 AP rankings, every team since 2004, the champion, has been in the top 12. If you look at the top 12, Alabama is the only SEC team, and they're right at 12. So for a team last year that kind of dominated, in the off season, or not the off season, but in conference play, they still won the SEC ACC challenge. It was much closer this year, but I was surprised once you sent that out. Not so much of that stat, but when you actually looked at the teams to go, oh wow, like there's only one SEC team in the mix. Yeah,
only one, and that's not even the one I'm talking about. I think Vandy might be better. We'll have to wait and see. I'd like to see more, but I don't want to just anoint Vandy overnight. But it is a little fun to say like the Kentuckys, the Floridas, these teams are going to be chasing Vandy this year. I think that'd be fun.
I'll be interested. I'll be interested to see once Vandy has to play a little bit stiffer competition. For sure, the last 3 haven't been cupcakes. They beat VCU, they beat St. Mary's, they beat SMU, all by double digits. But just when it's a little more, when it's a little closer. I'm for sure. I'm nitpicking here, but almost similar to Duke last year. Of all right, you're playing these soft teams, you run them out of the gym, but once it's a close game, what happens when you need a bucket on this possession, or you're going to lose the game? And just to be interested to see what happens there.
All right, what do we got to be on the lookout for this week? Everyone taking finals? Are there any college games?
Got a little bit of a breather after last week. Last Saturday, going head to head with conference championships was kind of wild. I think it was to kind of get it in before before finals, but there's still some good stuff. All on Saturday. It's going to be Arkansas at Texas Tech at noon. We're going to have Kansas with Peterson back. He came back on Sunday, played against Mizzou, looked pretty good. So be interested to see him play some more. And NC State has definitely had their bumps, but I am still interested to see how Will Wade in his new spot, kind of crafting the team. Maybe he got a little bump in the ranking just because of the name, but I think that he can still make a push. So interested to see that one. And then the best one of the weekend, 9:30. So make sure you're staying up a little late for this one. Arizona at Alabama. Or it's not technically at Alabama, but it's in Birmingham, Alabama. So basically.
All right, that's it for college basketball. Let's do a little NBA. You going to be having a little party tonight for NBA Cup? We got opening round.
See, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about, where we're doing the the podcast Tuesday rather than Monday. I did have to look it up yesterday. I knew the Cup was coming up. I had to look up that it was today. I had to look up who was playing. And I'll be honest with you, I know I'm the college guy, you're the NBA guy. They're going pretty much head to head. Are you more interested in Magic versus Heat and Raptors versus Knicks, or are you more interested in BYU versus Clemson, followed by Florida versus Kentucky, or not Kentucky versus Connecticut?
Oh no, that's not the answer I wanted to say.
Right?
You know,
And a little bit sounds funny because it's like, oh, you got the band stuff playing, like you got to watch that. It's like, well, why do you need to watch them? Oh, because he's gonna be good at the NBA. It's like, well, why don't you just watch the NBA then? But when I'm looking at, and for a little bit of this is not all the way fair because they're doing the East today. The West, is more competitive. They're missing out on.
You see who's in the West? It's the Thunder and the Suns. The Suns are in.
I think the Suns are more exciting than the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not going to. Neither of them are going to beat the Thunder. The Heat might beat the Magic. At least there's some exciting in that. The Raptors could beat the Knicks.
I think if you're looking at it that way, then you're going to say, well, who could beat the Thunder at all?
Nobody.
They're definitely cruising. I mean, they lost last year, so I don't know if they'll get tripped up somewhere along the way.
They would only get tripped up if they just didn't want to play the extra game, and they've thought that far ahead that they're like, we could take a loss now to have a day off. Yeah.
Here, I really tried to think about this in an unbiased way. I don't really get the cup all of the way. For sure, there's the Celtics part of it not being in it, but on Saturday there were definitely like games, not just the Duke game, but there were games that I made like an extra effort. Like I will be watching these games today. I'm going to figure out whether I'm out and about. I'm going to request it on TV, or I'm going to be at home and I'm going to be watching this. I'm going to be watching with sound tonight. For me, it's just there's NBA games on, and I'm just going to watch them because they're NBA games, not because they're cup games.
I don't think that tradition's been established yet. It's too new. There's no rivalries within the tournament. This is still a new seasonal time. You're not used to it. Versus watching Tom Izzo play Duke is a ton of history. You know exactly what that's going to deliver. Watching Florida play Duke, you know exactly what that's going to deliver. You don't know what this is going to deliver yet because it's still fairly new. It's very familiar territory. It's not like they've reinvented anything. It's very much still NBA games, which you would watch tonight if they were on without any sort of added value.
Exactly. That's what I'm not actively avoiding them, but it's just if this wasn't a cup night, I'd probably watch just as much. It's nice they're going to be on Amazon, so I will have my college games on and I will have the NBA games on. But I think that the college games are going to be the focus.
I guess my point: just give it time. There's no reason you should care about it right now. It hasn't been here long enough. You can't care about something until it's been around long enough. And you would care a lot more if the Celtics were in it. Then it would mean a lot more too. But we just haven't competed for this thing yet.
Sure.
I'm not against it.
Sure, that's where I agree, and definitely a little bit biased, but I'm just saying exactly how I feel about it now. I'm really not trying to be poo-pooing on it. They're trying something. We've talked about this many times that it's not for us. It's for the more casual fan. We're already watching basketball, but I don't feel. I don't even know what to change, but I don't feel like I'm getting casual fans. I'm not going to hear at work tomorrow somebody say, "Oh, you see that cup game last night?" Or no one today was asking, "Hey, what's this cup situation going on?" So I just don't know if it's reaching the casual fan like they're hoping.
I don't think it has either, but that's okay. That's fine. And it hasn't deterred the important fans like us either. Like I'm not upset over this. The people that aren't watching can be upset all they want. I'm watching whether they do this or not. I'm okay with this. It's a dull point of the season. We could argue whether this is added value or just a distracted value. I'm fine with it. It's too many games. Do something different. This is something different. It's not even that different. It's still NBA. Like, it's fine. I don't know what the controversy of this being so upsetting to someone is. It's fine. I will argue with you, though, that, man, I had a great time watching Saturday college basketball. The whole day. I mean, our big game kicks off at noon. It's Duke, Michigan State at noon. We're
at noon, man.
Imagine the NBA being like, we're putting our best matchup at noon. Never.
It's like, wait,
no way.
Yeah, it's like, are you crazy? Like your fans aren't ready. That's not like the prime time.
It's crazy the money that they turned down essentially by not putting that at like 8:00. I imagine. No, I thought that was a prime time sort of game. No, am I wrong?
Well. Now I'm trying to remember exactly how the day went, because it wasn't just like that was the only one. So, depending on what market you're in, I don't know. Yeah, now I went to look back. but it doesn't have the times. So I can't remember. I know Iowa Purdue was on during the afternoon, but I can't remember if Illinois Tennessee was later on.
Yeah, that sounds
There were
about
definitely
right.
some that were on at nighttime.
It was a good day. Good day of college basketball. It's going to be a good day of NBA Cup night. You want to do picks?
For the NBA Cup,
Magic Heat, 6:00 starts in 45 minutes.
I'll go with the Magic. Go with Paulo.
I'll go against you. I'll take the Heat. We'll keep it spicy. I'm going to go with both the underdogs. Raptors, Knicks, 8:30 tonight.
I'm gonna go with the Raptors. I just want to root against the Knicks. It's fun.
I want the opportunity to root against the Knicks. It also feels like there's some rumblings of this Raptors team. They seem to be quietly a potential front runner for this inevitable Anthony Davis trade that will never stop moving around. Are they going to pull a Kawhi Leonard all over again? I don't know if AD's the guy, but is there a chance that this Raptors, they could add like a weird amount of value with some of the guys? Like a good contracts they could trade is really what I could say. They're good size. Are they going to make a move?
Let me ask it from a different perspective. Would you want Anthony Davis on your team?
If I was the Raptors, I think so. He's never coming. You're not drafting that guy. You could pay him as much money as you want. The only way you're getting him is if you trade for him. If you are Boston, which you are, you're looking at it through a different lens. You are not in this scenario. You are the Toronto Raptors,
who have gotten, I guess, not many free agents, through trades. He's already been hurt this year. I maybe if you're just looking to try to, get people there, but the injury history just does not seem worth it.
I'm already a little shocked that Dallas is willing to move on from him, and I think it's more of just the injuries they've got set up over there. Where I don't think they can move Gafford as easily, or maybe they don't want to. I don't know where they're leaning from it. It seems strange that obviously things aren't going perfectly for Dallas, but I don't know if the answer is just try a new plan already, and maybe that'll work. Maybe stick to this one a little bit longer. Maybe just a thought. I don't know, but I'm intrigued by Toronto being spicy for a trade contender because we've seen that happen before.
I would just think that the Dallas, especially with the new regime, is just going to ask for way too much, and you're going to give that up. He's going to come in, he's going to play 2 games, and then there's going to be knee soreness, and then he's out for 3 weeks, and then hopefully he comes back, and hopefully you still have a chance. I would stay away. I would stay away. You got something a little special right now. I don't think it's going to last. I think this lasted longer than the Bulls being up at the top, and now they're on a 7-game losing streak and not even in the playing game right now. I think the Raptors are a fun story right now, but by Christmas they're not going to be up at the top.
The least fun story I think I saw all week was I think I saw somewhere that the Kings are interested in trading everyone.
They've been interested in trading everyone for a while. Who would have thought taking all of the Chicago Bulls players was a bad idea?
Yeah, I heard Levine is not fitting in quite as well. His effort on defense is not what the team had hoped for. Big shocker, right? Who would have thought Zach Levine wasn't gonna fit here?
I don't know. I don't know what the Kings are doing. They jettisoned Fox. Traded. I'm thinking Hansbrough, but it's not Hansbrough. Halliburton. Traded Halliburton a couple of years ago. I don't know what they got planned. They had a fun thing with the beam going for a little bit, and now they're just right back to the Kings, and it is just sort of tanking, but I don't think it's on purpose. But tanking makes it sound like you have a plan. I'm glad I'm not a fan.
Wait, Russell Westbrook's on this team. You're not tanking. Westbrook doesn't tank.
I don't think effort and tanking are necessarily mutually exclusive.
You try explaining that to him. Anything else in the NBA? I can't talk Russ. This is too much. Anything else?
I like how the Celtics have been playing. 5-game win streak. The Wizards were in there, shorthanded Lakers, but have beat some real teams. The game at Minnesota was tight. So I feel like gotta give some credit to Missoula. Still, I feel like hasn't quite figured out the rotation, but I'm just not sure if maybe these guys at the end of the bench, this whole Missoula kind of crazy, hey, if you go in and give energy, you get to play. If you don't, you got to go sit. Might just work for, we don't have that traditional team, and maybe there's been a little bit of, this is pretty different team from last year. So just kind of figuring it out where everybody fits, and it was definitely a slow start, but I like the way it's headed. I think that probably because of Kevin O'Connor saying, "Oh no, they're all the legit team," might be getting people might be getting a little too excited. I'm excited, but everybody just is like, let's be careful. We are at the 3 seed right now, a game and a half behind the Knicks, but we're also just a game and a half ahead of the Atlanta Hawks at 9. So it doesn't take much to slip. Any of these teams are all bunched together right now, but I'm hoping that Jaylen Brown continues to be healthy, continues to be playing at an elite level, and the guys around him keep figuring it out. But yeah, things work a lot better when Peyton and Derek White can hit shots.
As a whole, you're right. We're a couple games slightly better than the 9 seed. As a more recent, there's a lot of good teams we just defeated and won convincingly. Sure, there's some injuries. Sure, every team's got something missing. But you know what? We played some pretty good teams in front of us that most of the team respects in the East, and we took care of business. And the idea that we could potentially, and sounds inevitable at this point, add Jason Tatum to this team and somehow be a 3 seed with that maybe being added, it really puts it into the mix of like, well, what is a move you could do? Would you want to make a trade for an actual big man? Could you add? I mean, I really feel like this team could go to the finals with Luke Cornett right now. We just need that. Can we get something like that?
Well, we can't get Cornett. He's too expensive. I think the obvious look is what could we get for Simons, but we've had that for sale sign on Simons since that initial trade happened. So if there was anything worthwhile, I think we would have already done it. So I just don't think there's nearly enough interest. I don't know, as you go down the line, we're watching all the time. So it's like, well, Hugo is kind of doing some stuff. He can really lock in on defense. Walsh in the past week or two has jumped up a notch, but this isn't like for other teams. They're not looking at it going, oh, awesome, we could get this guy and we'll give you this known commodity for this guy that might have only been hot for 2 weeks. So I don't really know what moves to make on top of all of the financial part of it.
Should we go the Indianapolis route then? Should we be looking at retired centers?
Oh, who did you have in mind?
I didn't have one in mind. I'm just saying, if you're
Maybe
telling
the
me
buyout market,
the trade's not happening, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. You're telling me the trade's not going to happen because even though I could upplay and upsell 3 of the guys on this, the contract money just isn't going to work for somebody worth valuable to get back. Like, I'm not going to outplay all these guys the plus minus. The rookie Hugo could outplay anyone. We can't get the numbers to get back what we need. So at that point,
you mentioned Luke. I mean, if we stay right in that in that vein of a big white guy, is Daniel Tice available?
I would take him. He would help. I would trust him a little bit more than what we got out there. A lot of European basketball experience, a lot of Germany success, big games, big pressure. Yeah, I would take him.
I do think that Keita has been playing better.
I think Aaron Baines, we could go to the finals with that. Like we need a body, Zach. Somebody who just comes in and just wants to rebound. Our guys are weird big men. They're like skill set big men. Like Garza's, he's like a finesse guy.
He's not. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. He looks like a big tough guy, and I'm not saying he's not, but he's way more of a touch guy than like a elbow you guy.
Basically what Keita is trying to do, but we need another at least one more, or better. If we could have a better version of Keita, so Keita could be the one to come off the bench, that would really fit. Then he'd be overqualified for his role rather than underqualified for where he is right now.
Well, it's also when he fouls out or if he's injured, it's a different rotation. Like, it just doesn't. Like, it's a miracle we have the wins we've had, and that's why we are only a couple games ahead of 9. Is because that rotation at big men, when we don't have it, you can out rebound against us easily. It doesn't take much. It takes one hungry guy to come out rebound the Celtics on the right night.
We knew that coming in, that we were not going to be a good rebounding team. And I don't know what has changed, but since the beginning of the season, we have been rebounding better. And I don't think you just chalk it up to, they're just trying harder, because that's a fun thing to say, but that's not how basketball works at the NBA level.
I guess we'll find out in the playoffs when both teams try harder. Yeah.
We will. Playoffs are a long way away.
Anything else for the NBA?
A long way to go. You want to talk CP3 getting sent home?
Not really. Do you want to talk where he could potentially go? Like, you got a home you want to send him to? Well, I don't care about the Clippers. Right? What about the Clippers over the last lifetime could you say about like properly run organization? I mean, Kawhi Leonard stuff aside, I'm not shocked about this at all. They disrespected Blake, like Griffin, that built the house that they're now like trying to live in a little bit. Like it's not great. It's not a good vibe, and it doesn't seem like they have any interest of caring of the history of players. And I'm not shocked Chris Paul was trying to hold people accountable. I think when you sign Chris Paul, you should know he's going to do those sort of things. So the idea that they were going to sign him, let him do this sort of retirement tour, and not let him be Chris Paul is just insane to me. There's nothing new though. This is just a bad organization.
I think there was something in there why Chris Paul announced his retirement when he did, because I did think that was kind of odd timing. But now it seems it could have been a little more to it. I agree with you on all the Clipper stuff. This is just since last year. Took the Nuggets to 7. Only the first round, but I think that was unexpected. That was a very fun series. Then after that, caught in a salary cap scandal. We still haven't heard the end of that yet. NBA is trying to make it go away. I will not let it be forgotten. After that, slow start. Beal hurt for the season. He's out for the season. Brook, who they signed, out of the rotation. CP3 is sent home. Still a slow start, and OKC owns their first pick.
No.
That is just the Clippers.
One more.
Now.
Norm Powell is also still awesome.
And does not play for them.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They'd rather pay Beal. That's right. They'd rather do that.
Does not play for them anymore. So, and that is just this offseason for the Clippers. I only had this tiny little bit of room on my page to put that in. We didn't need to go all the way back. Not even that far. So weird thing. I don't know. On a location for him, they sent him home. It's always bizarre. He's old. I don't know if he's good enough to help a playoff team. That's kind of where he wants to go. It'd be, unfortunate if this is kind of just the way it ends.
No,
he announces it, and then just he basically never gets to play again. But I at this point, I don't know who says yes. Let's bring in Chris Paul.
I mean, even just he had some good years with San Antonio.
He played every game last year for the Spurs. That's what I don't know.
I don't think Denver's in a position to say no. I don't think OKC would be the worst farewell tour. Kind of bring it full circle, and maybe. I mean, obviously it's ring chasing, but I mean, why not? I mean, he can sign wherever he wants. The Clippers allowed this.
Well, they haven't waived him yet.
Yeah.
They haven't officially, they sent him home. I have to imagine they're hoping they can trade him. But when you send a guy home and another team goes, hey, are you going to, waive him so we can pick him up? Oh no, what do you want for him? It's just no, we don't want anything.
That might be a favor to him though, for teams that couldn't sign him and would have to trade for him. I don't know why the Clippers would do that, but they would get something in back. If there's a team that's over the cap.
I don't think that's the only thing that I could think of was if there was a team that legitimately could not sign him because of the whole cap situation, so had to make it a trade. But it's been almost a week now. It's been almost a week. I mean, it was very surprising. You get sent home after a game. It's just the timing, everything, very bizarre. Very bizarre, and yeah, I'm glad I'm not a Clippers fan.
I hope it's not the end. Well, what are you going to do? Speaking of possibly the end, as a little transition from the NBA into the entertainment world, streaming, the wars continue, Zach. It seems Netflix is going to be buying Warner Brothers, and not all of it, just the parts we like, the parts we value. I don't know if it's all said and done, or if this is all just to throw off one of the others at Paramount. I mean, Paramount's obviously very upset with this. They feel like their offer should have been respected, and they're playing a little funny business between the numbers, I'd say. I don't know if this is a done deal. I don't know if this is inevitable that we're going to see an HBO logo on a Netflix thing soon. We knew it was on the table. I didn't think this was going to do it. I thought Paramount had this locked in for sure. I just didn't think Netflix was going to want to deal with this mess, and here they are leading the mess. What do you got on this? I don't know what to say.
It's such a huge deal for just all of the entertainment. Of Netflix has all of the Warner Brothers, which is, that's going to be, Batman, that's going to be Harry Potter, that's going to be Friends, some big items, as well as HBO, and all the, great HBO television. So when I first saw it, my initial thought was, well, this is probably going to be good for me because for sure Netflix is going to get more expensive, but now it's going to have all of the things. It was going to be more comparable to how Netflix was, I feel like, in college, where you could almost get everything, on Netflix, almost, it's a little bit of an exaggeration. But when I talked to, a few people, somebody, closer to I'm going to call it, Hollywood, saying like, no, this is not good. Because if this happens, Netflix is just going to control everything. They might not put, if they own Warner Brothers, Batman might not be in the movies. Batman might just be, Netflix wants you to stay at home and watch their service, not to leave the house.
All
Because when
that's
you leave
true.
the house, you're not watching. So they had a view that, hey, this is not a good thing if this happens. Since this was announced, I believe on Friday, in the interim, Paramount has come out and seems like they are not out of this race, that they have some sort of hostile takeover situation. And as soon as I heard that, all I could think of was just Mad Men and other shows like that of, you know what I really want? I want the TV show version of this. I want to watch this. I want the Succession. Like, we are making this big move. There are just a bunch of, people in a boardroom figuring out like how this hostile takeover is going to do. This is like, you got to get the Suits lawyers in there. Like, there's a TV show I'm interested in watching.
I don't know enough about what Paramount's doing. I really don't. I'm not this isn't the podcast to have that explained to you. I'm not the guy to tell you that. But what I do know, and the very little information I know of this situation, is that there was already a deal between Warner and Netflix prior to all this buying and all that. Warner movies were going to go to theaters. They were going to go on HBO, and then after a year or two, they were going to go on Netflix. It's why I always said the joke of like, you just keep Netflix because eventually everything will make its way on there. Netflix was happy with this deal because they don't have to do the production of all of this up to a certain point. Once these movies started not being so good and they started paying the same, and maybe we don't care what we're watching on Netflix, the numbers probably don't change, but I imagine Netflix might have had a little bit of thought and being like, well, what if we were a little bit more in charge of this production that we're getting down the road here? Like, what if we put a little bit more money into that and this was actually better and under our control? Perhaps it would be a little bit better of a market there. Perhaps Sopranos was destined to be on Netflix. Is that not the best home? Is that not where it's going to get the most watches? I think there's a possible boom again after this once this all merges together. And even if it merges to Paramount, I won't. I think for movies and theaters that'll be better. But I think overall, we're gonna, as a consumer, we're gonna appreciate this going to Netflix, at least from the home experience. And what else could you say about this? This is a dying business in the movies. I mean, it's not. This wasn't what broke it. It's been broken.
And you're probably right. And it was always kind of headed that way of, especially with COVID, of less and less people going to the theaters. Of, why am I paying money leaving the house when I have a 64-inch TV and I have my surround sound system and I don't have to leave the house? I could just microwave my own popcorn. I don't have to deal with anybody. I don't have to deal with traffic. It's like that for a lot of other industries as well. I just don't know if you're going to be able to make the same amount of money if you're not making box office. I don't know if you're going to be able to get the same excitement. I think Netflix is trying to figure that out with Stranger Things. I don't know if they're getting there the same way when there's a movie and you see all the advertisements. And I don't know, I'm probably from a dying breed, but part of it of having the event of going like makes the movie better because you feel like you had to do something to earn it rather than, I threw it on the TV and then I got distracted midway through and then I took a phone call and then I had to follow up on the phone call, so I was kind of on my phone for a little bit and then it's like, yeah, the movie was okay. It's like, well, you didn't watch the movie. The movie was on, but you didn't watch it.
But I also got to say, while the home viewing experience has gotten better, we got better sound at home, bigger screens, better access to streaming, better stuff coming available to us sooner. Nothing's gotten better about the movie experience. There's more advertising than ever. I feel like I got to watch 30 minutes of ads and trailers before I can get and watch the damn movie. I feel like everybody's on their phone in there. It's way more distracting than anything else. Obviously, if it's a premiere and a very serious movie, that's fine. But you used to be able to go to a casual movie and it wasn't, everybody watched the movie. It wasn't like they were on the phone. There wasn't a parent playing a game while they're watching their kid's movie at the movies. Like it was a better experience. So that experience isn't as good as it used to be. And the home one's getting better. What is it? There's nothing they can do to make it better other than saying it's exclusive. That's the only thing that's going to get us to go to the theater, is that this is the only way you're going to get this, and it's only right now, and it's not coming anywhere else for 6 months.
And there's going to be spoilers. So if you don't go to the movies and watch it, like that part of it could get diminished for you.
For sure. But we all got our own algorithms right now that I don't know if spoilers, I feel like they were inevitable at a certain point where you kind of had to watch certain episodes on Sunday night and you couldn't go on social media until you did. I think I could avoid that algorithm at this point. I don't think I could do that years ago, but I think at this point I can. I don't know what that says about everything either, but that's just a better home experience. This is the way we're going. Netflix will still have movies in theaters. They'll be big, but also the idea that Netflix is suddenly going to create another Stranger Things, it's just not going to happen either. 101.
I I hope that they're able to, but I mean we've just seen for a long time now that just using the intellectual property that already exists is just a more of a sure thing. So I would think it is way more likely that they will make another Batman than they'll make another Stranger Things. Or maybe I shouldn't say another Stranger Things. I don't mean literally like in 10 years it's a Stranger Things cast is getting back together and they're going to do another episode. I just literally mean a television show that everybody is talking about.
Really hard to nail a coming of age 80s sci-fi. I mean, it's
There's a lot. There's a lot going on.
What is Stranger Things? What is it? Like if you pitch that, you'd be like, yeah, there's a lot of things I like, but we don't need, there's too many things thrown in here. We could use less of this. It needs to be simpler. It's a complicated show that has satisfied me so far. Are you still happy with the release schedule of that? That's very unlike Netflix, where they did I think it's 4, 2, and 1. 4 episodes.
I believe it's 4, 3, and 1.
4, 3, and 1.
I could be wrong.
Either way, that's it's not like Netflix. It's more like cable or even HBO.
I do like it because I feel like they split the middle well. When this first came out, I remember when I saw it and I said, I don't like it. This is not Netflix. You're stringing me along. And I thought it was more what these other shows have done where they split it up and it's season 8, but part 1. And really it's like, come on, you just split it in half and you're doing it at the same time. Like these are 2 different seasons, but there's a whole, contractual and it's all money, of course, do the cha-ching ching sound again there. But once I saw what the actual schedule release was, then I was a fan of it because this end of the year is when you have the most time off. You're the most time hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. So to have those 4 episodes, you're halfway through the season. Now you have time to talk to people about it, to kind of build the buzz between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Again, when you're going to be seeing a lot more friends, seeing a lot more family, it's some nice small talk to have. So I like that. And then it's not another month. It's then, okay, 1 more week and you get the finale. I believe it's 2 hours. I think even some, we were just talking about, I think some theaters are even going to have it. So I think trying to make it an event, trying to make it big. But I think that was better because I think Netflix does lose out on, it's like the excitement of the whole season came out. If I want to wake up as soon as this come out and I can watch this all day, I can do that. Or I can piecemeal it. It's fine. But you do miss out on everybody's on the same schedule. Everybody's talking about it. There's no, oh, well, I saw episode 5, so I'm not there yet. Everyone is at episode 4 right now and can talk about it. And everybody knows that. And everyone knows it's coming out Christmas. So get ready or you're going to miss out.
It's a really bold choice. No other network would do it that way. Every network would try to milk every single episode every week and get us all on the same page. But I suppose Netflix is going for a big bang on this finale. The finale is going to be the one we're all going to watch together once that's out.
Yeah.
So I guess the momentum for that is coming. It just took 5 seasons, and it is justified. I think the money is, man, you could feel the money in the show. The production is there. They didn't spare anything. I feel like they really, if they wanted it, they got it. And hopefully I'll be happy with the conclusion of all this because it's been good. It's been a good show.
Well, not just much about the schedule, but since it actually came out, I guess we'll still go like no spoilers. But we both watched the first 4. What did you think overall?
Satisfied. I always know it's an 80s thing, but the 80s music's just great. The music's good in the show. The CGI is a lot more rewarding this season, where before it was a little bit like the boogeyman you were never going to see, or maybe you only see it for a little bit. We're full on showing boogeyman now. That's no spoilers. You saw that in the trailer, but like that's big CGI, and that's cool. Like we have accepted this part of the story, and this is now basically a character that we really are starting to learn more and more about. Happy with everything. No complaints. A little worried about where we go from here because everything is good, and I don't think they've really made a dangerous decision yet, and that's coming. They're gonna have to.
I think it's just inevitable. You have to kind of keep the stakes increasing. So we'll kind of see how that builds. Who makes it, who doesn't, and in a show like this, that's just kind of to be expected.
Do you like watching the show like that, where somebody's gonna die, and you're just, I don't know, counting it down, biting your nails until like, oh, don't let it be that one, but we know it's gonna be someone. I don't watch the show like that. I'm not waiting for anything like that to happen. I want to be shocked when it happens. I'm not going to be like, well, I thought it was going to be this guy, and then it happened. Look, I'm right. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to like anticipate that.
I don't think I'm watching it looking at it and going, I think it's going to be this person based on this and this. Like, I think it's going to be this. But, I mean, it's a sci-fi show. Every episode, there are multiple spots where there are, like, perilous situations. So it's just, you're just constantly getting put in those situations where it could happen. So I think it's just kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat.
All right, bonus time for everybody in the podcast today. No outro music, no intro music because we're on the road, but reminder to subscribe, little column A, little column B, and you can follow Zach on his X account, which is
Wicked Z-Man 24.
You really have all the time you could have in the world. Is there anything else you want to share with them now that we don't have a restricted outro music?
No, I don't have anything today. I got to talk about the Celtics. I got to talk about Duke. I got to complain about Notre Dame. I got it all out of my system. No, I'm good. I am excited for more sports, college, NBA. We got a little bit of everything. And yeah, it's getting a little colder, skiing soon. So yeah, I'm excited for the season.
Excellent skiing in snow this weekend. Excellent skiing. Cold as hell, but so good snow. Excellent snow. We'll be back, I believe, next Monday. Should be back to the normal schedule. And we got a little bit earlier here on. All right, we're already done. We normally don't record till 6. This thing's going to be out by 6 on Tuesday. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back next Monday.